Hey NailTubers! So remember when I did this set and this was the LazyGirl Method, Femi Beauty Method? I explained I'd be doing a wear test on them and I'm pretty excited to share the results, with quite a few things to tell you. So the first obvious thing and only thing that did come off was that I lost that wine bottle. But the funny thing is, it actually happened right here while setting up for another video. Some of you saw my nail room tour. I have a small drawer right next to me. Well, I was reaching in, and this is a reenactment, and it got caught in the bottom of the top drawer. I really felt it tug, then I heard it fall inside. So I'd say it was reasonable for that to have happened. You saw the bottle on and off in videos. I would put it back on whenever I go somewhere because I didn't want my nails to look crazy. So starting from when I did these nails, these were done at this point exactly 3.5 weeks ago. And one other thing I want to bring back to your memory is the finish on this set. This was Mia's Secret glass finish top coat, and with all the things I put this set through, look at this shine. You'll even see another video coming up during the week of me doing an acrylic set, and I have these on. Now, as far as the durability, this set could actually go even longer. There's been no breakage of the nails, and they're still holding super strong. See the resistance? The one thing I'd say at this 3.5 week point, I personally was becoming irritated because I'm really not sure how to explain, but do you ever get that pulling sensation after a while, especially when wearing a length like this? So yeah, I was the one ready for them to come off, but they very well could have stayed much longer, as you can see. Oh, and that was me showing you that it was the bottleneck that got caught. While here's an even closer view. Look, Drunken Bear hung in there, guys. He never budged, and he's still so cute. Yeah, these definitely would go more than 3.5 weeks. So you'll notice there's not much outgrowth. My nails do grow slow, but you might have a different result here. Even the thumb is still good because it's usually the first to go for me. So big love to Femi, as so many of us enjoy doing quick and beautifully creative sets that look professionally done and takes less time. And as much as LazyGirl Method is learned, liked, and shown, I also wanted to provide a visual reference of how it wears along with how to remove it safely, because that's something I had yet to do. And I'll continue to say more while showing the removal. This example set was done quite some time ago, like back in March. In fact, I particularly did these to take them off right away and show how I do this. And I'll continue to say more while doing the removal. And it always starts with removing embellishments. Sometimes I can get away with using dollar store nippers, but today you'll see that I have a pair of old nippers I used to use for client services. And there are heavier duty implements depending on how large and how well your embellishments were placed. Then clipping the length. So remove what's unnecessary to work at filing away. You can use the nippers for this too, or what you have available. Usually a small clip on one side will create a split across the nail, but if it doesn't, like the two nails that still have an amount of bling adhesive, just make a clip on the opposite side to help. I've come to really appreciate my Melody Susie Cordless E-file. Hold the on button for 2 seconds and it always starts at mid-speed, so I make that adjustment, and a removal should always be at a higher speed. This doesn't, but on my eFile that has an indicator, I use anywhere from 14,000 to 18,000 RPM. And that depends on what hand I'm working with because it does make a difference. For instance, this removal is being done with my non-dominant hand in case you didn't notice, so I'm a bit more precautious. And this part is optional. I just like to smooth out the free edge because it bothers me so much when I move around and reach for things and the edges are jagged and get caught. So you don't have to do this part, I'm just showing you that I do. Now since this set was done on my right hand, one thing I prefer not to do is go around the arch of the nail. It's just a way for me to avoid any accidental injury. So when removing on my right hand, I only debulk the length. Now, I already have a sanding band mounted, so I'll just show you how that does for removal. Then you'll see me switch to a 5-in-1 bit. The biggest key when doing a removal, and you'll always hear this, is to keep the drill moving. Never let it stay in one place, not even for a moment, because friction at such a high speed creates heat and in turn causes the burning you often hear about. And it doesn't matter what type of bit you use, they all get hot. Some just don't get as hot as others. The best thing for you is just to make it a habit of keeping it moving. Now, I don't have a dust collector, so I frequently stop for a quick cleanup, and this is where I'll go ahead and change to a coarse pan of 5-in-1 bit so you can see it perform too. Which I forgot to mention, that sanding bit was a coarse bit, and when you're doing a removal, it's always best to choose either a medium grit or a coarse bit. And whenever you stop the e-file, you will have to redo the settings. So I talked about the speed. Keeping in mind, this will depend on your skill and confidence. I do suggest that you start lower, then work your way up as you gain control, especially if you're using your non-dominant hand. I pay special attention when using my left hand, so one thing you won't see me do is go around the arch. I also want to explain that the way you hold and operate the e-file, or even other implements for that matter, will be different when using your non-dominant hand. Here I have my left forearm comfortably on the table, and the drill is laying in my folded fingers while using my index like, guess, kind of a buffer guide. And though you don't see my thumb, it's controlling the stability. I say that to say, don't force your left hand to hold tools and operate them exactly as your right hand. Now I'm able to file pretty thin without any heat spikes, but you get where you can. You'll be able to go thinner in time. And I don't neglect doing this, for one, because it's really unavoidable, unless you're okay with all the built-up dust. I just want you to see what you can do in case you don't have a dust collector, which I don't. Oh, and I just remembered, at some point I found a bit sleeve. This helps keep dust from getting down into the channel for the drill bit. And as you can see, this nail was a little thicker, especially with what I used for gem adhesive. But it was pretty satisfying to watch. And then here's a soak-off hack. Now I have seen other people do this. You only need one cotton ball for soak-off. Well, for each hand that is. So if you're using 5 cotton balls each hand, stop doing that and start saving some coinage, girl. To soak off, you need acetone, cotton, and aluminum foil cut down to size, enough to wrap around your finger. Saturate the cotton with acetone, then place it onto your nail and wrap with aluminum foil. This part is also optional, and if you don't have any, it's okay. To me, these silicone soak-off nail caps are a time saver and work saver. They can be found at Dollar Tree, which is where I got them, but you can find them almost anywhere. Other stores, Amazon, AliExpress. So I do the same for all the nails. I've been doing this method for quite some time. And for starters, the silicone holds in the heat generated by your body temperature and the chemical reaction going on inside the foil. This in turn makes the soak off faster and easier for me because polygel can really be something to soak off, even more so than acrylic, but usually not when I use these. In addition to that, it's also a convenience since I can still do other things while wearing the silicone caps that I can't with only the foil on. I can actually operate my mouse and work with the computer and download video clips in between and even do some editing while soaking off. And real quickly on saving money, not to be confused with cutting corners. The first thing I learned in nail school was to take that cotton ball, unroll it, and cut it into 5 pieces. And there you go. So it's been about 10 minutes, and you might have to do this more than once. So I try not to disturb how the wrap is set up when removing the covering. You know, polygel is so popular, especially among who are affected by monomer. But since removing it can be a bigger hassle than acrylic, 2 things that help me are getting comfortable with filing down, and the second one is using these finger caps. It looked like this one was hard, but then one loose point and it came off so well. But it still gets covered because, you know something, even though it looks cleared, polygel also leaves an almost invisible hard layer. So I'll let you watch this one. It was easy starting out, and I'd say how much you saturate the cotton with acetone plays a part too. But as it lifted, there's still a layer there. And this is after the second soaking. I did have to do a couple nails again, but it didn't take long. I gently file with a hand file for any last excess. Sometimes anything that was caught underneath the free edge also makes it a strain to get up what could still be there. You always want to buff smooth to bring the nail surface to its natural appearance. A glass file should be used when shaping the natural nail, and they're sanitizable. Once this is done and the hands are clean, you won't see me use cuticle oil because you can and should add a treatment, but I have to do an ointment, then use healing lotion. And this is the outcome. It feels so good when your hands are well prepped with a treatment. I really hope you enjoyed this and it was helpful to you. If you haven't seen me do these nails, you can by clicking this link. And you'll also find more polygel nail tutorials there. Remember to subscribe and click the Nailification bell so you don't miss any uploads. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Much love!